Okay, so today I will be analysing the poem Stanzas Written in Dejection near Naples by Percy Shelley. So first, let's talk about the poet. So his first wife and half-sister committed suicide. His two children from his first marriage were estranged from him. His poetry was being poorly received. His daughter, Clara, with his second wife, died of illness. So all of these sad events are an explanation for the dejection which the speaker describes in the poem. Also, there may have been doubt in the back of Shelley's mind that he was indirectly responsible for Clara's death, as he had insisted upon the trip to Italy, where he had hoped that the climate would aid in curing her illness. But she died anyway. So many of the happy qualities that the speaker of the poem lacks allude to Shelley's real life difficulties. So although we don't say that the speaker and the poet are the same, we can see that there are certain autobiographical elements within the poem. So the deeper meaning. The speaker is alienated from the beauty around him through his dejection, something which we see in the first part of the poem. He feels that he is nothing in comparison to everything around him, and that he will leave no mark in the world through his death. So this is the first stanza of the 6-stanza long poem. The sun is warm, the sky is clear, the waves are dancing fast and bright, blue isles and snowy mountains wear the purple's moon's transparent might. The breath of the moist earth is light, around its unexpanded buds, like many a voice of one delight. The winds, the birds, the ocean floods, the city's voice itself is soft like solitudes. Despite the use of the word dejection in the title, the first stanza of the poem is relatively positive. We are presented with a joyful scene from Shelley's position as he stands by the seashore. He personifies almost all of the aspects of the scene laid out before him. For example, the waves are dancing, the snowy mountains wear, the breath of the moist earth. The cumulative effect created through the use of so much personification is the vivid impression of life and the fact that the world around him is alive. Here we are presented with an explanation for Shelley's dejection. It is because he feels alienated from such beauty that he feels so sad. This is only made clear in the last word of the first stanza, solitude. The asyndeton also adds to the cumulative effect towards the final word. It also creates movement within the poem, showing how the world around the speaker is alive and full of movement, while he is stuck in time with this endless feeling of dejection. The feeling of disconnection is also emphasized through the half rhyme between the words floods and solitudes, which contrast to the full rhyme within the stanza. For example, bright, might, light, delight. I see the deep's untrampled floor with green and purple seaweed strewn. I see the waves upon the shore like light dissolved in star showers thrown. I sit upon the sands alone. The lightning of the noontide ocean is flashing around me, and a tone arises from its measured motion. How sweet did any heart now share in my emotion. So in this stanza, Shelley's gaze becomes fixed with the floor of the ocean. We almost seem to be transported there ourselves. We get the sense that the speaker is in dire need of escape. This is emphasized through the use of sibilants in seaweed strewn, which allows the sound of the sea to drown out all other noises and creates the soft hiss of the speaker fizzling into nothingness by dissolving in the water, hiding amongst the seaweed strewn in the cold and in the dark. Alone refers back to solitude in the first stanza, and it helps to reinforce the idea of isolation and loneliness from the world around him. And then we also have words like lightning and flashing, which create a contrast between the high energy of the world around the speaker in comparison to his stillness. Alas, I have nor hope, nor health, nor peace within, nor calm around, nor that content surpassing wealth, the sage in meditation found, and walked with inward glory crowned, nor fame, nor power, nor love, nor leisure. Others I see whom these surround, smiling they live and call life pleasure. To me that cup has been dealt in another measure. The exclamation completes the move from external to internal contemplation. From this moment, the rest of the poem focuses on the speaker's emotional emptiness. His inner landscape is flat and featureless, something which is seen in the use of negation and the repetition of nor. The aspirant used in the first line, have hope, health, it helps to mirror the feeling of emptiness that Shelley intends to convey within this stanza. Everything that the speaker seems to be lacking is abstract and emotional. For example, peace and calm, hope and health, rather than materialistic, which shows that it is the spiritual and emotional connection that the speaker is truly missing. And then we have the use of ascendanton again in the sixth line, which creates the impression that Shelley's troubles pile up relentlessly. They come thick and fast and are overwhelming. They weigh him down and drown him in this sadness, causing him to sink to the bottom of the seabed. All around him, the speaker sees smiling faces, but he doesn't share the happiness that other people seem to have. When he says that these people call life pleasure, this suggests that life isn't in fact a pleasure. The speaker seems to believe that the people around him are in fact living inside of a happy delusion. His tone is slightly condescending and bitter. He distances himself from the people around him, something which is seen in the use of the pronouns they in comparison to me. Yet now despair itself is mild, even as the winds and waters are. I could lie down like a tired child and weep away the life of care which I have borne and yet must bear, till death-like sleep might steal on me, and I might feel in the warm air my cheek grow cold, and hear the sea breathe o'er my dying brain its last monotony. So we can see that Shelley has been so beaten down by his prior experiences, the loss of many of his loved ones, including his daughter, that despair itself is mild, showing that he is deadened and beyond the point of having any feeling or emotion. This stanza is a reiteration of the second stanza, in which the speaker expressed his desire to escape by dissolving into the waves. However, this stanza is a lot more explicit, as the poet uses words like death and dying. The contrast between the warm air and the speaker's cold cheek emphasizes his feelings of alienation from the lively and warm world around him. And then we also have the modal verb might, which shows that the speaker's it shows his complete lack of energy. He is unable to even end his own life, so he simply lies on the sand in the hopes that the waves will pull him in so that he can be drowned by them. The image of the speaker pressing his cheek into the sand shows his desire to leave a mark and make some sort of impact in the world as he leaves it. Some might lament that I were cold, as I, when this sweet day is gone, which my lost heart, too soon grown old, insults with this untimely moan. They might lament, for I am one, whom men love not, and yet regret, unlike this day, which when the sun shall on its stainless glory set, will linger, though enjoyed like joy in memory yet. So the speaker would like to imagine that some people might lament his death. However, the use of the modal verb, once again, might, creates a sense of doubt, and that this is only a hope. The use of the adjective stainless once again suggests that no matter what the speaker attempts in his life, he'll leave no mark or blemish on a world that exists on its own terms, with or without him there. The last line of the stanza is a lot longer than the earlier ones, and this makes it stand out and isolates it in a way that makes it mirror the speaker's feelings of alienation from those around him. Okay, so here are the topic areas that I would use if this poem were to come up in the exam. So for the first topic area, I would focus on the fact that we see a disconnection between the speaker and the world around him, and he is alienated from the rest of the world. And then I would move on to talking about how the speaker imagines drowning in the ocean, and he reflects on his life and the emptiness of it. And for the final topic area, the speaker's desire to leave a mark in the world is made clear, and we see his hopes that even though he was not loved, some people may feel saddened by his death, although it is quite clear that this is something that won't happen through the use of the modal verbs. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching.